I believe that politics is not what it is. It's not accessible. It's not inclusive. There isn't people like me being heard. A lot of politics is being talked at you. There's not really a co-production approach when politics affects everyone's lives. The decisions are made by those that it affects. Like, politics is more than what it should be, and I want to see a different kind of politician. And I know that being a councillor, if I get it, is one step, but who knows what the future holds. And I just want to see more people like me being heard and represented where decisions are made. I want to see a more inclusive, more accessible um town. Like, I have a disability, as you may know, and sometimes I use a wheelchair. But like in our town centres, there's not always drop curbs. So I want to make sure our town is more accessible. I would like to see more variety in shops. I a few weeks ago, before I decided I was going to stand, went to visit some local businesses, and I had a I had a community survey out that I put on social media to get feedback on. And some of the priorities that I heard from people were like they wanted free parking and they wanted more variety in shops because in Wednesbury there's a lot of hair salons and barbers. And I feel like we could use more of a town centre to have more variety and like bring it back. I know there's like online shopping, but our town was just brilliant once. So I wish that we could make it better. And if I'm elected, I would like to be able to do that. Do, but if I don't give this a chance because this is something that's keen and important to me, then I'm going to let people win and say that I can't do this. Whereas I'm putting myself out there. I've done other roles in the past, but this is, sorry, when I say the roles are like workplace advocacy roles, so this would be a political kind of the first ever. Sorry, maybe that's that wrong. But like, I want to see more people like me. I'm not aware of anyone within my current councillors across the borough that have all three of my identities. I know that some have one of each or two of each, but I don't know exactly if there are one of all of me, if that makes sense. And like, I feel like I have a lot to bring to the table. Okay, I don't have a political background, but I've got other experience that I can bring to the place, and that's what's really important. So I do worry, but sometimes you have to put yourself out there, and I'm just doing that because if I can't do something, then no one can. And it's like I could be the first step to see like the next Gina in politics, whether that's another councillor or another MP or any other kind of politician, to be the step to that. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more people like me. And I guess that starts with one person. If one person can change one part, then that means something, regardless of whether I get it or not. I look at people like Shani Danya. Okay, she doesn't have a political role as such, but she's been involved in loads of areas and campaigns and everything. And she represents all my identities. I just feel like I want to kind of embody her kind of qualities and her approach to becoming something that I'm going to do. Obviously, I can never replace her, but I want to be like her in a way. It's strength because I've seen politics for years. I know friends who are in politics, And I think there's no one like me at the moment that really engages with people in a way that's not talked at you. And I like I said earlier, I want to give a different side to it. I want someone to see me as just a neighbour, not Gina, who's a counsellor. Okay, I would have the title, but I want people to be into politics again, because sometimes people don't feel it's important, or they don't vote because they don't see much change. And I know that within my borough, within my town, people want change. And I'm not from a political party. So that means I have my own values that I would represent. I would make decisions that would be based on the interests of my community and the people that really need to be heard. Like, it would be a privilege to be in those chambers, and I just want to see a different type. And I think that it is a strength because people can see a different kind of politician, one that's just like a human being to a human being. I've been working for about just over 15 years, 16 years, July. It initially started in disability rights. I used to work for a small charity, doing work with other disabled people. And I met a few politicians back then, a commissioner, if I remember correctly, and that kind of took me to where I want to be. I've done other work, public sectors. I've done things like TED Talks. I've been involved with local government. I used to sit on, well, I was on the inaugural, sorry, I always say that word wrong. I was on the first ever West Midlands Young Combined Authority. So I've had the opportunity to work with other young people across. I've had the opportunity to work with our former mayor, in Andy Street, sorry, who obviously is no longer the mayor of West Midlands.
Yeah.
But I've been in those spaces where it really matters, and I've had the opportunity to learn from other people. And now it's just like, I want to take the next step up. Another thing that I do is I'm a co-chair of my organisation's disability network, and I've done that for 4 years. And I never thought I would, but those skills and quantities I've learned is what's making me want to do this, because I've supported people from my community, for example, like from 100 to like double that now. And I know that with this role, it would be a lot more, but I feel like that's given me the opportunity to be where I am. Like, I've had the opportunity to learn from other colleagues who are passionate advocates for their marginalised communities. So that's really important. And I've even been to like Downing Street in London. So I presented a petition about 3 years ago on changing places facilities. And I've had my other social media campaigns, called CP Everyday Life, which was about raising awareness of cerebral palsy. And I just feel like I've achieved so much in my career that I now want to take the next step and broaden my horizon to something on a much bigger scale to see where it takes me. And I'm not doing it for the career. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because I want to make a difference to people's lives, and more so outside marginalised communities. Like, I want to be out there representing all kinds of people. And that's what's really important to me. So with my campaign, I'm not knocking on doors,
Okay.
because I find it intrusive. And I know not many other people like having put under that pressure, and just having somebody knock on your door without the blue. And I'd never wanted to like call people without notice. So I'm very much taking an approach of using social media
Okay.
and designing a leaflet which went out just last week and giving neighbours an opportunity to engage with me in their own way. I mean, I've also done a letter, and I've not done it in the way politicians do it. I'm doing it in a way of, if you'd like to vote for me, then great. But if you think somebody else is better, then do what's best for you and your family, because people have different views, and I'm not going to get everyone's vote. And I get that. Our town has never had an independent before. So I just feel like people, I've got to do what's best for them and see what they believe. And I don't believe in putting pressure on people. So when it came to the survey that I mentioned earlier, it was things like antisocial behaviour as well. Things like they feel there's a lack of health and wellbeing services and things like that. Um, but overall, I'm not making myself unavailable. I've said that if people want to contact me, they can. Sorry, if neighbours can contact me, they can. My leaflet has my contact details. Obviously, there's my Facebook page, my Instagram account. So it's all open there. I just don't want to be that kind of politician when putting pressure and I'm just putting them on at the blue, because I wouldn't like it. And I just feel like there's different ways to campaign than knocking on someone's door and cold calling them.